Good morning, Midnight's Edge fans. We're here to tell you that we have so much more to offer you now at our Mixed Tees store. Not just t-shirts and hoodies, but we do have plenty of those, and new designs for that matter. You can also get mugs, and of course our brand new limited Amber Turds stained blanket. That's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for midnight session in the morning. The gang is ready to go and it's time for the show. It's time for midnight session in the morning.
Good Friday morning here on Midnight's Edge. There we go. Button going. All right. We got Scribe Light with us this morning. How you doing, Scribe?
Doing all right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday.
We also have Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, gents. Glad to be back.
And we also have Paul Chatto from
Nice
the Paul
to be
Chatto
here.
fame.
Nice to be here also,
Oh, what the hell you got on your shirt?
Mr. Canoehead.
I really
Oh,
like
that's
that
what it is.
shirt.
I couldn't tell. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
great.
Nice. Is that something you can pick up at your store, or is that just
My
once in a
my
lifetime
daughter's
thing?
store. You can pick it up at
Oh.
her. I should put a link in.
That you should.
You should drop a link on X.
You should
Yes,
somewhere.
I'll model it and then drop an X.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I've got a shirt on.
Oh,
I do too. You can't
Yeah,
see mine.
we never see your shirt. Well, we do, I guess.
Yeah, I do actually own a couple Punisher shirts.
How come you have to be incognito, Scribe? I mean, you're not part of some kind of police.
He's part of a cult.
No. I mean, like what is it when you're the police have sequestered mob family? What's it called? You're in
Protective custody.
Protective
Protective-
custody.
Witness,
Witness
protection.
protection.
Witness protection. Yeah.
Are you in a
No,
witness protection thing?
no. There's I'm getting to the point where I'm probably going to change that in the near future. I'm saving the face reveal for a charity fundraiser thing I've got in mind. So when the stars align that makes sense to do, it'll probably be sooner rather than later. But yeah.
Well, it's
For
funny
the
you
re-
bring that up
yeah.
because we might have a face reveal from Andre on Monday.
Yeah.
if everything
Oh
falls
yeah,
into
that's right.
place.
I'll have to take a look.
Not
Yeah,
that he's
Andre
not out
should.
there, but
Andre should. There's no. I mean, again, people sometimes worry about their backgrounds. I know WD and Jonas both came from kind of a what do you call it, a restaurant review secret kind of thing. They were walking the aisles of the Universal and Disney and things like that, and they want to keep their identity secret because they spent so much time at the amusement parks, right? Reviewing them frequently, so they didn't want to be
like a secret shopper.
secret shopper. Yeah, they didn't want to be caught, so that makes sense. But there's Scribe.
Well,
No reason for you to be hidden.
The original impetus was at the time that I started my YouTube channel, there was a lot of risk to people saying the wrong thing and then being doxxed and having your real life harassed and things like that. And obviously that danger still exists to a certain extent these days too, but not to the I'm not as fearful to the same degree now as I was back then. So it'll change sooner or
Well,
later.
you need to stop doxing people.
Yeah.
That's
Eventually,
obviously.
Scribe, you'll get so old and out of shape that all that content that you once allowed to be recorded will not be able to be used as revenge porn. So, I mean, you can probably.
I wish somebody would use revenge porn on me. Damn it! Then that means I get to make porn in the first place.
Oh no!
You've already
Oh, no.
gone off the rails.
D. Bud Martin. I wish I looked as debonair and handsome, and I wish I had a mustache that magnificent in real
I mean,
life.
this isn't what you look like.
No, it is a fan's representation or interpretation of what the character from the painting "Wander Above the Sea Fog" would look like if he was facing the camera.
Well,
Yeah, very
you've got
grateful.
time to grow a stash.
Yeah.
I mean, I have one. It just, I mean, it won't. Mine will not grow in that particular form, unfortunately.
Well, I can't do good stashes.
Yeah. So anyway, it is in the relatively near future. I will be revealing, and I can promise, as far as my background to my interior studio, there's a giant poster of the Hunt for Red October back there, so everybody knows that it's me. So everyone knows that it's me.
Why doesn't that totally make sense?
Awesome.
I know.
In some weird way.
I know.
But all right, let's break into these super chats here, and then we'll get into the topics of the day. Not that there's a whole lot, but it is a day. Pack and Proton sends in 5 and says DEI guy Doug Bowser leaves Nintendo. Supposedly, this new lady is the lawsuit guy. Not much better. NOJ ditch NOA. You don't need it.
Now, what do they mean? Doug Bowser was I don't know too much about Nintendo. This Doug guy, I understand, has been with the company for 44 years.
Perfectly named too.
Doug,
Hey, sounds like a bad guy.
A Nintendo bad guy.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, he was around prior to the invention of DEI. How did he get caught up with that? Does anyone know his history? Is it?
I have a vague memory that he became a proselytizer for or a evangelist for DEI early on in the process. Let's see. Doug Bowser, the former president of Nintendo America, confirmed in May 2025 that the company would continue its diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts, stating that diversity was a company value long before the term DEI was popularized. A lot of companies make this claim that the values and the core principles of DEI have been part and parcel with them when they try to conflate DEI with basic civil rights law, and then they move on from that. But as far as his personal involvement in it, I couldn't say off the top of my head. But now he's retiring, and some lady's taking over as the CEO.
All right. Well, yay for Nintendo.
Yeah. Packing protons.
Yeah.
First question.
I wish I knew more about the Nintendo situation, but moving on, we got Ruby Hoove, who gifted a membership. Thank you for that, Ruby Hoove.
Ruby.
We got Adabisi, if I'm saying that right. It says, due to minor illness, Scribe extends stay 1 more week. Sorry for the minor curse, Andre. Well, we'll see how it goes Monday. I have a weird feeling he's going to try and pull some shit on me because Andre is weird like that.
Can I just go back to the DEI Nintendo thing?
Absolutely.
Because if they were doing it right, then they shouldn't have let Shigeru Miyamoto make every fucking thing. Right?
Good point.
Like, why did they let him do it? Why didn't they, get other people of diversity to also make games? How come he did the vast majority of games that actually made Nintendo what it was, which kind of goes against the entire notion of equity within DEI? That's not an equity. That's not an equity opportunity. It's anti-equity.
Yeah, it's pro merit.
It's merit.
Yeah,
there's no end in DEI. There's no.
He's only white adjacent, so he kind of dodges. Yeah.
So, anyways, what would Nintendo have done without Miyamoto?
Nothing. It wouldn't be there.
I mean, the level of genius that guy. I mean, he's still alive, but he's not doing stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But the level of genius that guy provided was just beyond. I don't know.
Well, maybe Doug leaving will improve their fortunes. We'll see.
Well, except they've replaced him with a female president.
Yeah.
I hate to be
a
misogynist, but that's always the perfect choice for a game.
Maybe she'll transition to a toxic male.
I'm digging a giant hole for myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you are. Can we go back to Ruby Hoove? I just want to say this. Every time Ruby Hoove gifts a membership or says something in the super chat, I'm always reminded of a song by a band called Rancid. Has anybody ever heard of the band Rancid?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Ruby Soho. Every time I did that song, just immediately.
Ruby Soho. Yeah.
I think a Goodbye Ruby Tuesday, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. What a great name, Ruby.
Well, then you had the Hoove in there, and it's like
Ruby, 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 Hoovy.
that sounds like a place or a song. Yeah, like
Well, there's Ruby Sunday.
yeah, that's what I was saying. Good
Ruby Tuesday.
or Ruby Tuesday,
Ruby
not Ruby Sunday, but yeah,
Sunday. Okay,
The Sunday,
Ruby
was
Hoove.
the one the couple of days earlier.
I got you.
Yeah, Ruby Hoove though sounds almost like a CCR song, like singing about a place. We went down to Ruby Hoove.
Yeah.
Everybody there was loving our tunes. You know, there you go. Something like that.
Maybe Ruby is a honky tonk woman.
Ruby Hoove. Anyhow, Ruby Hoove says errands to run. We'll listen in the car. Well, hopefully you're hearing us right now. Have a fabulous Friday, y'all. Well, thank you, Ruby Hoove. We appreciate that. Hyperguyver 2 says proof Henry Cavill absolutely has screen presence. Well, when it comes to Witcher, that's for sure. And I believe that's part of the story this morning.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get into that very shortly here. But Dr. Longdongler sent in £1.99 with a thumbs up to remind you to pound that like button if you haven't already. And then Jeremiah Hembry says with $2, what Peacemaker was on Earth X? Well, I haven't seen the new episode yet.
Oh,
But from what I've been hearing, my predictions have pretty much come to being.
Yeah, most people thought I'd seen people already predicting this to be the case. Spoiler alert: the not too much, but the alternate reality that Peacemaker goes to is not all rainbows and sunshine. If you can believe it, there is an inherent flaw to it that was kind of telegraphed from within the first 2 episodes or so. If you were paying attention to the background, yeah, it really was pretty much broadcast pretty easily if you paid attention to all the background characters and things. And besides which, there's sort of a DC sort of canon suspicion to alternate universes from the main line that there's always some, history went awry somewhere kind of thing. It reminded me of Sliders. It really just reminded me of Sliders.
And this is something that's straight out of the comics too, right? Like you were saying, Scribe, where... And again, this is kind of where, I wasn't the only one predicting this. Like, I'm not trying to pretend I owned this or anything.
You're a genius.
I am, but that's what my mom tells me. No, I'm just kidding. She does not. But yeah, so yes, Peacemaker was on Earth X from what I've heard. So none of us have seen the new episode yet. Unfortunately, that was one thing we failed on this morning. So.
No, I saw it.
Oh, you did see it? Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, no, I watched it last night. I've seen it, so...
I'm up to the point where at the very start when they were taking pictures in the restaurant and just before the opening credits, the pictures started melting.
Yes.
And I went, okay, we're in for something.
Yeah, my only, there are 2 moments in the show that actually had me sort of laughing and entertained. It was Vigilante's mother showing up.
Oh my God, that was great.
That was funny. And Vigilante meeting himself was pretty funny. But the main flaw with that episode, and still with most of the season so far, is this torturous, dragged out, emotional, like this maudlin drama between Peacemaker and Harcourt. And especially, and I'll try to refrain from too many spoilers, but they do eventually meet in the alternate universe and have this sobbing, emotional exchange. And I'm just like, well, wait a second. This guy just went to an alternate universe, killed his double, and is now sleeping with your double, who he's lied to pretend that he's the guy that he killed. And yet you're still considering having a relationship with this selfish psychopath. I
didn't have a problem with that.
I do a little bit.
You know what? The way I thought it was going to go was he was going to grab his dead double, drag it into his world, throw it in a strategic place, and let Flag find it. So he's now gone. That
would have been creative. That would have been good. I still think the alternate universe. Yeah, I still think the alternate universe thing is a complete waste of time. It should have started. You said before the show that when Flag was beating up Peacemaker, they captured him. Him sending him on suicide missions should have been the primary thrust for the season, I think. And this whole alternate universe thing is a real waste. Unless
you make 90% of the show in the alternate universe, and so you get Flag beating him up. He takes his double that he accidentally beat up, throws him into his present world. Flag thinks he's dead. He thinks that's over. And then a full adventure happens in this alternative world that turns to shit. I would be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, if they stuck with one and not tried to play both sides of the street,
Correct.
Sure.
That's my thought.
Anyway, yeah, and Adebayo still has no reason to be there, and anyway, yeah. So get off track.
And that Spanish girl, she's just too tiny.
The robot girl?
Yeah, I guess she turns into some cyborg, doesn't she?
We find out she's a cyborg, yeah.
So that's half person, half robot.
Like the engineer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, which is like every woman.
Like I agree with half of what you guys are saying. Yeah, you're not wrong. And one thing I did say, like, is I agree that also like a lot of this could have probably been left on the cutting room floor. You could have jumped from that first episode of the season into the last episode and made that work easier by just kind of compressing all that. Like I agree. Like, and Amanda Waller's daughter still being there. I'm like waiting to find out what her purpose is.
Well, you know what?
In fact, did you guys not notice that they? I was gonna say, did you guys not notice that they disappeared Amanda Waller pretty quick too?
We learned what her purpose was at the end of this episode.
Right.
At the end of this episode is the first
finally
time,
halfway into the season or better.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, she finally serves a narrative purpose of meaning aside from just chauffeuring people around at the end of this episode. I won't say why, but given what has been revealed about the second dimension, it's pretty obvious.
But I agree. Oh, I just want to say I agree that like a lot hasn't happened between these two episodes. But the body, I feel like I wonder if that's still not going to play a part. Because it's almost like a bomb under the table. Sooner or later somebody's got to, or a horror movie, the body always pops up in the third act, right? Like there's certain elements to this that I feel like we haven't quite picked up on yet while we're also, what was that?
Pretty decomposed by now.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. But I agree with you. Like that would have been a good use of it to where it kind of like would have thrown things off for a while, or, on Rick's side of it, I agree with you. Like, and that would have given Peacemaker a little bit of, breathing room for the season or whatever. But again, like, I'm not quite sure exactly where it's going to wind up. I just knew it was going to be something like this. I kind of know, like, he's going to have to, and this is just me making predictions. I know he's going to end up having to kill his dad again. And that's going to be the easy part. He's going to go, well, that was easier the second time around. And then I bet he's going to turn to his brother and he's going to go, this is going to be the hard one. And then that's where it's going to be the climax. Yeah, that's going to be the climax. And that's where it's going to be all kind of the big thing there. And then he's going to have to come back. Because I don't really think he's trapped there as much as people can't come to him. See, because I think his dad still has a door. So
well, no, they well, I mean, they in the middle of the episode the entire group travels to the other dimension.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm sure they'd figure it out sooner or later, but I mean, basically, like this is where Superman has only mattered at this point, and it's only you still really haven't had to have seen Superman to understand what's going on. I
mean, I understand what went on. I mean, there could have been some small adjustments too, in that we were just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah,
which was very frustrating. And
I agree. Yeah.
I don't understand why. I'm sorry, the black lesbian. What's her name?
Adebayo.
Adebayo. Yeah, I don't like her character either.
Why wasn't she doing that private dick work on the side right from the very beginning? That is a plot point where she put out the ad and then the ad turned into bullshit, was a cheap joke. They should have
her whole character is kind of bullshit, but yeah, sorry.
But the fact that, and I mean, she's very uninteresting at least the beginning of the show. It would have been, if they're going to keep her, then have her already be doing this, where she maybe has an interesting B or C story. And vigilante, why would he stop being a vigilante? Why would he go into the restaurant and become a shift cook? Or like that again was a cheap joke. Why would he stop? There's no reason for him to stop. That was
Did he say he stopped?
That was a hilarious joke about, but he wasn't doing any vigilante work.
I get what you're saying. I think he was still kind of doing, but they just
we didn't see any.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I never really got the impression that he necessarily had kind of stopped.
All that dirty money and drugs. That was hilarious.
That's what I mean. Like that's why I kind of had the idea he was still working while everybody else.
But from a point of view of us watching a show, we need to see things happen.
Oh, I agree.
As opposed to having it described to us post haste facto or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with you there. But I mean, at the same time, I guess I didn't really even think about it like that. So
Well,
I
I
mean,
love the character. I would have loved.
no. I mean, I guess I just didn't think that he was not doing anything. He always had a job too on the side. But yeah,
so sick. A human like if Peacemaker is mentally broken, Adrian is worse.
oh yeah.
And it would have been loved to have seen. It would have been cool to see him involved in some, breaking up some heist.
Dude is borderline psycho. Yeah, like I mean,
imagine if you had Adebayo with her private eye business, but she was partnered with Vigilante, and they were doing adventures together. Yeah, exactly. As soon as he shows up and he shows his little room, and he's got like a room full of money and drugs and everything. I'm like, boy, that would have been a fun scene to see him bust up some kind of drug operation, and then just see him in like episode 2 or 1 or something, grab a bag full of stuff and walk off and not mention it again. Yeah. And then we see the results of like all of his adventures at this point. Like, oh my God, where'd all this stuff come from? Well, you know.
And what's funny is, as much as they tried to recreate the bond between Adebayo and Pacemaker, which completely failed. It was just blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
The chemistry between Vigilante and Adebayo was actually really good.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed them as a pair.
Well, the problem is everything that she does now in this season goes against everything she did in the first season, in a sense of she didn't want to be in this work to begin with, right? Like that was kind of her character.
Oh, I know.
She wanted to go off and do this lesbian love life with this other girl doing God knows what kind of work, not being.
And then they
Amanda Waller's daughter.
And had to write her out.
But they kind of got her sitting in limbo. I'm like, okay, so yeah, you clearly weren't going to make her take over her mother's role, but then you're not giving her anything to do here, and her wanting to be a detective is a lot like her working for her mother in the first place. So why would she want to do that? And then she ends up completely ignoring. Yeah, I know, but she's completely ignoring her relationship, which I don't give a fuck about. But as a character, I'm going, wait a minute here. You made this be a big deal in the first season, and now all of a sudden you really completely wrote out her girlfriend and made her just.
I can forgive that.
This floating character.
As Scribe said, if Vigilante and Adebayo teamed up, that would have been cool. That's all I care about.
I agree. It gives her a purpose, because at this point she's just playing his best friend, and there's nothing really to make me feel like these should be friends all that much other than acquaintances.
Right. And she's his private chauffeur for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, they make this big deal about that they're best friends.
Yeah, that
right? But we don't see. That's another thing where we get told that more than we get to see. Yeah, she's there to kind of back him up, like you're saying. But yeah, so she's basically delegated to sidekick role that is less of a sidekick than, Vigilante, like we were saying, who's clearly the more interesting character. Honestly, her character shouldn't even be here.
No,
her character should come here later on down the road. Her story ended at the end of first season.
I agree. She was an anchor at the beginning, but it was refreshing when the two of them were together, and I went, "Wow, this works. Why didn't we do this earlier?" That's all I'm saying.
No, I agree with you there, and that's where I'm kind of backing you up on this, saying like, yeah, I agree. Like, there's a lot of this. That's my one complaint with the whole thing, where I seem to be enjoying it more than everybody else. I haven't seen this new episode yet, but that being said, like I said, this show to me, I see a lot of things in it you don't see or don't like that I enjoy, and it's kind of it's not that we're having like a disagreement. It's like I totally agree with you. Like, this could have been a lot quicker, swifter. We could have been using this the time more efficiently. I mean, this show could have been way down through the storytelling already. I don't know what the deal is as far as like what James is doing here. We'll see when we get to the last few episodes here, but I
just get the sensation that he was spreading himself too thin between Superman and everything else when he made this, and this needed another round of polishing or hand off to somebody else to refine it or something, because there's a lot of fluff and chaff here that could have been cut out and streamlined a lot.
Well, yeah, but they spent 3 episodes showing us what losers they were. Well, we know that.
Yeah, we knew that from first season.
But that's every fucking streaming show now, almost.
Oh, I know.
Not everyone, but 90%.
Well, sure. Right? Well, sure, but this is that's not. I mean, that's not an escape hatch in my mind. When it's like, okay, this is James Gunn. His first season was really good. Why can't he make a second good season?
Fair.
He's had plenty of time
Fair.
to think about it. He's got the resources. It's the streaming curse. I just don't. In this instance, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me why it's there, because he's not the one bound by anybody else. He's the guy in charge. Most other streaming showrunners, they end up being curtailed by executives that want it now.
Right.
And I don't know.
Well,
anyway.
and he's pretty much got free reign to do almost anything he wants. So I think the problem here, and this is just my skepticism or observation, however you want to put it, is I think where James thinks he's being clever, and I agree, this part was kind of clever, was I think everybody was expecting this multiverse thing to lead to a point where, you know, Peacemaker would be removed from the Snyderverse and put into the Gunverse, right? Well, that's what everybody was kind of expecting to happen. And I think he was well aware of that. And he was kind of pulling a Rian Johnson, but not in a sense of, what I mean is when Rian Johnson came on board to Star Wars, his whole thing was, you know what, everybody's got these wild theories and crazy theories about Rey, and everybody thinks that Snoke is probably Plagueis. You know, the only way I can make everybody wrong is by making those two completely nothing. And that's what he did. And that's what, the thing to back that up is he's got that stupid "Your Snoke theory sucks" photo with him, that sticker on there. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what happened here, but kind of in a sense that James was like, okay, since everybody's expecting me to use this multiverse thing to do that, I'm going to pull it back to the future or whatever you want to call it. And just in the beginning, and just everybody's recast and different characters to where it fits my narrative. So the world that Peacemaker is in already is my world. And then this whole multiverse stuff I can have a little fun with and then close it off. Because I really don't think that the multiverse going forward is going to be a big deal. Because none of the movies really seem to have anything to do with that. If that makes sense. At least what we know of that's coming, in the near future. Even Man of Tomorrow looks like it's going to be more about Brainiac, obviously, and probably Supergirl and Superman and whoever's been introduced.
After the Flash, they just want to close that off and forget all about it.
I would hope so. And the fortunate thing for them was that both the second Suicide Squad movie and the first season of Peacemaker, save for references, save for that very last scene in Peacemaker season 1, there was nothing tying it, unavoidably to the events of the Snyderverse.
Right.
It all existed in kind of a ship in a bottle by itself.
And we've all got kind of spoiled or used to this idea that there's this self-contained continuity to everything now, and that's because they've gotten directors in charge of these IPs now, which is not a bad thing. I totally think it's a good idea, but what we have here now is I think that's made people resistant or not understanding, where James is kind of like, I'm just gonna do this shit like they used to do, and it's whatever is canon is stuff that's referenced. If it doesn't get referenced, then it doesn't fucking matter. Or if I do something that's different or goes against it, then it's no longer canon, right? Like that's kind of how movies used to be. Especially when you get to sequels and other things like that, especially when you get different creative forces involved, because
James Bond,
that's a great example of it, right? Yeah. Like that's a perfect example, because you have several decades worth of examples of how it's been evolved and changed and looks and sounds under different, creative designers. Right.
Yeah.
Different
fields. Marvel's ruined it for us because they set up this unified continuity, and that's so the expectation is set there. So yeah, and I'm fine with things just standing on their own and not necessarily having to be part of a larger puzzle. If they move back towards something like that, great. DC may do that. I mean, the next couple of movies will tell us for sure. But, Gunn keeps teasing. It's like, well, you don't need to have seen Peacemaker season 2 to understand the next Superman movie, but it helps. Like, okay,
that's possible though.
Which is
okay. Well, then the reason I understand what he's saying is because he's an old school Marvel guy. Where like when S.H.I.E.L.D. was first on, that show did not affect the movies, right?
Nope.
Like at no point was there ever any crossover, but it could always reference the films, and there was little winks and nods to it in the movies. And I think that's kind of how this is going to work. I think anything that's on TV or R-rated or anything that's kind of outside the main storyline that's being set up in Superman here, that's just candy or extra gravy on the side, however you want to put it. So I think that's where Peacemaker comes in. I don't think it's going to play a huge major role in anything going forward outside of closing off possibly all this multiverse bullshit, making that easy going forward.
I think all its purpose is to provide entertainment for the channel.
That too. Yeah, I mean, it's just supposed to be
something that
entertaining.
Disney has not been capable of doing is entertaining us on the Disney Plus side of their franchises. It's been a disaster.
Right. Well, and having connective tissue to anything only works when it's interesting. It's like that was the problem, and not to shit on it, but that was part of the problem with the Snyderverse, right? Is that the big issue with BVS was how much shit was piled into that, and coming out of that going like, really, was there any reason for Wonder Woman to be in there? No, she doesn't really serve any narrative purpose. She shows up to save everybody's ass for one, but did you really need her to?
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. So that's just one example of that. And we get, a lot of people were bitching about how Superman has all these characters, and it's like, well, I honestly think he balanced them a lot better, and probably because he had a lot of experience with Guardians of the Galaxy and everything with so many more characters than a lot of the Avenger type movies have to this point, in my opinion. And I still feel like Superman got to be the star of his movie. Now that can be debated, and we can go back and forth, and people can argue about it. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I agree with Paul. All James seems to want to do is entertain us with this. I don't think he has any major agenda involved. So yeah.
He has two masters. One, he's got to expand the streaming service and get people into theaters to watch movies, which is the thing that Disney completely lost sight of.
Without making anything necessarily must see as far as the separation between the two, because I think that's part of the problem.
Was vaguely fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
aesthetically, I think they still nail things, and Marvel does aesthetically, like Fantastic Four and like the Loki television show and things like that.
When you got $300 million to spend on a movie, it's going to look good.
Yeah,
well,
Loki,
in certain respects.
Look
but
great.
I think they have talented people in that regard, right? So, like, you don't complain about the music, you don't complain about the editing, you don't complain about the set decoration, costume.
I mean, the editing, I guess it depends on you're talking about.
Since Endgame, really. I mean, you look at the movies that came out after. So 2019 was sort of their peak. They did Far From Home, came out a couple months later, but then it was Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Multiverse of Madness.
Well, and the funny thing, the difference here is that's where James Gunn left. Yeah. And because he was supposed to oversee the cosmic side while Feige was overseeing the stupid multiverse side.
Yeah.
And I start to wonder if some of this multiverse shit isn't just him taking a dump on a lot of that. Because James, if you haven't noticed, has thrown a lot of shade at Marvel ever since. And I'm sure there is a little hard feelings there.
Well, I think we really still have not been able to calculate how much impact the pandemic had on the industry. People just changing the way they do things. That was also around the same time. 2019 was sort of the end of that era. And then Black Widow, you know how that went, was the next movie after that, Far From Home, during COVID. And I just have the feeling that a lot of mindsets changed. A lot of people dug in to where they were, and a lot of good talent is just no longer involved. I don't know. I think a lot of things being done are based on fear or reactive rather than trying to be proactive. At least Gunn's doing that. He's not to my taste. Season 1, great. Tapped out early on season 2. I don't mind listening to what you guys think about it. But it sounds like everybody's mostly on the same page on this panel.
And I can't stand John Cena, so that's like,
me either.
That's the thing. Like, but for some reason, as Peacemaker, he has won me over.
Just for the record,
yeah, right. Like John China, like I've never, even before that, if he's in a movie, to me, I always felt like he was like, oh, so this was like your third or fourth choice because you couldn't get The Rock or somebody else instead. Yeah. So like,
what was that Mark Wahlberg movie that Cena was in?
The Transformer one or a different one? Because were they in the same one or was it a different one?
It was a comedy. He's his ex-wife's boyfriend or something.
Oh yeah, what is it?
Something something. I can't remember.
Oh, is it the Daddy's Home movie or is it
Daddy's Home? Okay, yeah.
Was he in that?
I think so. Yeah, the sequel.
I know he did the Will Ferrell was in that. But was Cena in it too?
Gosh, I'd have to look. I think he was in the sequel though. Yeah.
He might have been. I don't think I've seen part 2.
When he plays sort of the heavy or like a secondary character, he's fine. But I don't know. I'm not a fan.
And I think Peacemaker really plays to his strengths, so that helps.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
But anyhow,
some shows though, the second season, you can't You just can't match the goodness of the first. I'll give you a prime example. That I don't know if you guys ever watched that Billy Bob Thornton Goliath Amazon series.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Season 1,
Just watched it not long ago.
top shelf. Season 1, legal drama. Season 2, hot garbage. So many episodes were pointless, worthless, like a poor man's Korean Pulp Fiction. I don't know what they were doing, but I know the biggest problem is David Kelly had a falling out with
Right.
Thornton.
I don't remember season 2 being as bad, but yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah.
terrible. And 3, you can go on Reddit and it tells you skip it. It just gets into some bizarre flashbacks, dream sequences, and all kinds of stuff. Although I am gonna.
Yeah, season 3 I remember being wacky, but season 2, like for some reason I don't remember being so bad. But I could be wrong.
Finished it last night, and I recommend season 1, and I'll leave it there. And I'm gonna try season 4 next. We'll see how it goes. Sorry,
unless I'm thinking, because I swear there was like 2 seasons where I was like they were way ahead of the game or the curve on.
Well, there was no legal drama whatsoever in the second season, and it ended on
okay.
His client gets killed in prison. The bad guys get away with it, and he walks off to be drunk. It's
yeah, maybe you're right, because maybe I don't remember. That's why I don't remember much from the second season. You could be
forgettable.
Right.
Goliath
Anyhow,
season 1. Oh,
maybe
and
it's
I'm
1 and 4. I don't know.
If you have Apple, Slow Horses is a good series. Gary Oldman heads it up, and it's going into season 5.
Oh, that's his show. At a BC, I think we got this one, but I want to make sure because we weren't totally sure in the background here. I'm pretty sure I did, but yeah, he's a minor illness. Scribe extends stay 1 more week. Sorry for minor curse, Andre. Yeah, no, he didn't make it today. Unfortunately, Andre had some prior engagements he had to deal with, or however you want to put it, things that pulled him away. Let's say, or however you want to.
He's a warlock. There's no minor curses.
Norwegian Secret Service.
There you go. Yeah,
probably. Inner Majesty Service, if you want to say that. Lost for Words has been a member for 44 months. Thank you so very much. We appreciate that. And Jeremy must have got his money's worth on that last one, I should say. Eclipse Warlord has been a member for 45 months. Doug Bowser was the only with Nintendo of America for 6 years. The 44-year comment was how long Nintendo has been a part of his life.
Oh.
Got it.
Gotcha.
So that's what puts him in the DEI territory. He was there from when it was at its height. Okay.
Yeah, 2019 on.
Yep.
There you go. And then Glade Ribbon is in the house and says, any old friends unbanned yet from the tube? Personally, I'm sure there's at least a few. I've been kind of just sucked up into work and neck pain lately, so yeah. Yeah,
my friend Sinatra _says on YouTube, his channel, he had built it up years ago to almost 200,000 subscribers. And then I forget exactly what quote-unquote controversy YouTube decided to K-line him for, but he had his entire monetization yanked at a time when he was about. I might be telling slightly stories out of school here, but he was on the verge of receiving a rather sizable AdSense check that got completely vetoed at the time they pulled his monetization, and they made his channel and all the work that he did to build it up effectively null. And so his monetization was pulled, his verification was pulled, and it was just a dead channel. And so he had to sort of leave it. He left it alive. He didn't delete the channel, and then he went off and tried to build elsewhere, and has been working on that for the last several years. But then all of a sudden, the other day, it comes back, and it's like, okay, we're going to make another go at this. So yeah, he does kind of goofy stuff on current events and news, but he also has been doing. For those of you that I still can't quite understand the fascination, but if you have any interest in the character of Foodie Beauty, Sinatra has been chronicling her adventures for quite some time now, and it is she is a lol cow supreme. So if you're curious about that at all, and he also has some commentary stuff on current events and political things too. And he's great. He's a pro. He's been around at least as long as I have, almost 9 years now. So if you curious about that, want to give a guy Heads up. He still hasn't got his monetization back. He got his verification back. That's the next step. See if he can get monetized again. But
Still got 163K subscribers.
Yes, he was able to retain 163,000. I believe he was on the cusp of or just at 200,000 when they took away his ability. So yeah, the shackles have been let loose. So congratulations to Sinatra.
If you were canceled or banned or whatever, don't you have to appeal it now that Google has said this?
I think it depends on the circumstances you were taken out on or something. Like channels that were terminated.
Yeah, like Alec Jones is one that's been kind of like.
Yeah.
And a few others.
Okay.
It depends.
But I think that's because he had the lawsuit and some other shit too. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, each situation is, and like some people, they got their channels back completely. Like Computing Forever, just suddenly his channel's back. Like, oh, okay. Well, hey everybody. So where was I?
Here we go.
That's one I know. And then you said Sinatra Says. That's another one I do know. So yeah, there's a few. Or of course, every time I hear that name, I was like, "Are you reading Yes I Can by Sammy Davis Jr.? The title of that should be Yes I Can, as long as Frank Sinatra says it's okay."
Yeah, Sinatra Says.
Sinatra Says. Is that where you got the name from, or did he just? Is it just?
Well, his. I'm not doxing him. His real last name is Sinatra. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I just wondered if that was the reference, was the Bruno Kirby line?
I don't know. I honestly don't
unrelated?
know. I honestly don't know where the name originates from. I figured it was just him speaking, and that was just the thing. But who knows?
Okay. Yeah, I get you. I guess I never even. They could have just been completely unrelated. Is why I was asking.
So it's Frank
Blade
Jr.
Ribbons. What was that? Sorry.
So it's Frank Jr. Just kidding.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, Frank Jr.'s. Nobody's supposed to know. Thanks a lot, Chris. Doing Boy, speaking of witness protection, and Chris Brawley comes in and ruins everything. All right.
Better keep that avatar
Don't tell
on.
him no secrets.
You better keep that avatar on.
That's right. Gosh, I'm
another one.
Caramba.
It's wicked witchcraft. Anyway, any old friends unbanned from YouTube? Yeah, we got a few, so we'll see if there's more to come. I did have an older channel of mine. It was kind of weird. It didn't get banned, but it was one that got demonetized not long after I got picked up by Andre here. And it was because it was one of my like side channels that was kind of making me a few bucks. And then all of a sudden it got demonetized for quote unquote reused content, like a lot of people did. And for years, every time I tried to remonetize it, it wouldn't go. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden here, like 2 months ago or a month ago, it finally accepted my remonetization. Wow. So I'm like, okay, well, that was strange, but
the vast majority of people who were taken offline were restreaming other people's content. At least 80%.
Yeah.
Then you've got the disease that will not speak its name. And
that's another group. Yeah.
That was a problem. And then anything to do with women sporting sausage danglers, that was also problematic.
Election denial was a big one. I got a couple of streams.
Okay.
That's another one.
Yeah. I had a couple instances where I had streams from my talk show where I got community strikes. I almost lost my channel at one point because one stream got struck for misinformation or conspiracy on election denial. Another one got struck for COVID stuff, simply because we're reading articles about these things, or January 6th or something.
Don't
and that
say
alone.
It's
sorry.
These whose name we cannot speak.
Oh, pardon me. Koof.
Koof, yeah.
But yeah, so
you might can now. Who knows?
Yeah, but thankfully those got cleared up fairly quick. I appealed those and was just like, we were reading news articles. This was not promoting something,
right.
or even. But at the same time, I felt kind of icky saying that, like, well, even if it was, what business is it of yours?
Exactly.
For crying out loud. But anyway, yeah. So thankfully, I didn't lose my channel, but I came pretty close.
And YouTube said that no one should be trying to reinstate their channel manually. They'll get to your channel eventually.
Yeah, I think the message was, if your channel was terminated, don't try to create a secondary channel, because until it's reinstated, that is still against YouTube policy. I think that was
correct. That is great. But I mean, hey, look, give them credit for coming clean with this.
Well,
it's healing.
Well,
it was the worst kept secret, but yes, I'm glad that they finally admitted it.
Credit that they were forced to do it. Well,
it's all part of healing. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, tell them you're sorry, YouTube.
That's right.
Go over there and tell Paul you're sorry.
I'm most curious to see what happens, because the YouTube case of the Biden administration doing this is before the Supreme Court. So we're going to see if they rule and what if any consequences come down from this for violating the First Amendment. But time will tell.
But it's not a First Amendment issue. Corporations do not follow the First Amendment.
No, but the Biden administration specifically leaned on and sent messages to YouTube to remove channels. And
unlike the
messaging.
Jimmy Kimmel incident, even though there's tons of stories that are still perpetuating this idea that Trump or the FCC pressured ABC in any fucking way, despite a few public,
But we're in a state now between a certain war in the Middle East and all this stuff, where there is a group of people, trolls, that are just absolutely happy to perpetuate lies.
Oh, absolutely.
It's of no consequence to them.
Well, the Jimmy Kimmel thing is a great, petri dish of this whole idea of this blatant lie, or at least close to enough blatant lie that Kimmel says, twisting it around on Trump, while all the while it's themselves on the other side doing the shit. And then I said it last night. You said you actually watched the social.
What do you mean doing this shit? I don't know.
So what I would like, if you were listening last night, you might remember. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, because I was trying to say this last night, or I said this last night. Basically, I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm not surprised we haven't had more conspiracy theorists get into this business about how between Colbert and Kimmel. In fact, there's a story in THR that's just about this exact same thing. That's kind of now it's even making me think even more so. Let me bring this up. Where it's almost like they did this on fucking purpose because they knew it would help boost the ratings. And it's like
I don't think so. I think they just believe it. I saw Colbert's monologue, and he also doubled down on the fact that this was the FCC and the president forcing ABC.
That's my big thing. Oh, Chris has come back. Here we go. We lost you, Chris.
Sorry about that.
He was busy.
Oh, don't be.
Yeah.
So this story came out in THR this morning, just after I brought that up last night, Paul.
Yeah. So they just mentioned that Trump is trying to cancel. That is now a rally cry for the left.
Badge of honor.
And the comment that Kimmel made after the fact that I found hilarious was how stupid he was, is he didn't even see it in his own comment about the problem here isn't, Jimmy, so much what you said and ABC taking you off the air, because they're going to take you off the air sooner or later anyway, because your ratings suck unless they stay steady here, which I highly doubt it, because eventually it's going to fall off because people don't care that much. But this seems to be the only way that you can boost some of these shows is act like you're getting canceled by Trump. Cry wolf, do something stupid, and then come back like you won something.
Yeah, rubbernecking is not a sustainable audience strategy. That's what gave Kimmel the boost in the first.
But the initial impetus, no matter how many times Trump in the past has said that all these talk shows were worthless, which did not affect. They did not, jump on this. It's only this recent Charlie Kirk thing, where a bunch of accidental gears had to engage to create this scenario. Yeah. And then out of that came the idea that Trump personally had a meeting with ABC to cancel.
Right. And I totally get it. See, that's the thing, is that's what they're perpetuating, is that he made a phone call or a threatening. Yeah. There was a threatening interview, whatever.
What is the truth if you can make someone believe?
Exactly. And they're running with that like you couldn't believe. Yeah. But to the quote I was talking about that I first mentioned and didn't get back around to was that he said that he had realized that he had gotten so much support from his friends, but he had said that he had realized that a lot of his friends don't even watch his show.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, Jimmy, that should fucking tell you something.
Yeah.
That's to me where they're just completely, Colbert and him are completely pretending that Trump is the problem, and it's not the fact that their show is in a slump because they've treated Trump like nothing but a boogeyman for 10 fucking years, right? Well, that would be like having 10 Star Wars movies where Darth Vader was the only bad guy. Like, after a while, you're gonna go like, are they ever gonna fucking kill this guy? Like, you know, how many Death Stars is he gonna build before they take him out?
Yeah, and I had mentioned in my little street walk that if I'll bet you probably Letterman and more than likely Conan, they probably would have taken the mickey out of Kimmel for what he's doing, because there's a lot more material making fun of the situation, tangential to obviously Kirk's death, but the stuff that you're talking about right now, how they're doubling down on this stuff. If there was any comedian worth their salt, and Gutfeld isn't it either.
No,
he's not witty enough.
no.
That they would have had some brilliant takes on this, but there's nobody out there capable of analyzing this and being witty in that droll British kind of way. Carson would have had a field day with it, I think.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking of writing a Carson style monologue and doing it with fake applause, just to show people how you can write a talk show monologue making fun of Kimmel.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too hard.
Kimmel is just he's just no good. I mean, the thing is
no.
Yes, they're going to play this. They're going to milk it for everything they can, and yes, he's going to have good ratings numbers for like what Scribe called the rubberneckers, and also the people who are reporting on entertainment news. Oh, we better see if Kimmel says something else about Trump tonight. So there's those people are tuning in, but at the end of the day, it's a non-story. He's a butthead. He's totally biased. I found out the other day the last time he even had a conservative person was the My Pillow guy 3 years ago.
Oh wow!
So immediately when he comes back on the air, who's he get on there? Governor Gavin Newsom of California. So and it's always this Adam Schiff or some other Democrat.
Well, did you see Gad Sad's video on that?
What's
Sorry,
that?
What did you say, Paul?
Gad Sad. You've heard of Gad Sad, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So he does brilliant work. He's a evolutionary psychologist or something similar to that. And he did a video where he got the data from somewhere, how many conservative and how many liberal guests the talk shows, the three talk shows have had.
Yeah.
And it's something like 530 to 1.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Crazy ratio.
It's ridiculous. And if Trump was really able just to pull the plug on a channel or a host or anything like that, he's been calling CNN fake news for going 8 years. Why is CNN still around, right?
Well, not just that. Why wouldn't it be for something else before this? This had nothing to really do with him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and
there's a
Bill
million
Maher,
other things he could have. Yeah.
Bill Maher works hard to try to get voices from all sides.
Well, and he was one of the few people who was actually understanding this whole thing, and he's actually been removed from ABC before. I mean, he basically said in so many words that Kimmel fucked up. And this is where I can't believe I'm having this debate with so many people, and I can't even believe that there is this whole freedom of speech debate when the guy who was lied about vicariously through his murderer basically doesn't have speech at all anymore. Right. Like, so that's why I don't even get why there's a debate here about some of this shit. Like, I get the slippery soak argument, and I'm more than happy to have those kind of conversations with somebody like Scribe any day of the week. Right. Because I know you're somebody who's actually coming to the discussion with good faith. Yeah. Anybody on the left, though, fuck that. Fuck them and any of their bullshit when it comes to the shit. Because, the whataboutisms I'm normally not about, but like, these are people who tried to flat out censor people for years. And this YouTube thing that got buried by the Kimmel case really should be the top story, right? That we talked about earlier.
Right.
Or that we were just talking about now, too, where people are being finally reinstated for shit that they should have been kicked off the platform for in the first place.
Yeah, Bill Maher may be probably one of the last or most popular reasonable liberals. You know what I mean? Like I was
Yeah.
watching him correct Rob Reiner the other day.
That was a good one of the best episodes he's had.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Are you talking about the
it was
episode from Friday
amazing
night?
to me, some of the things that Rob Reiner believed, that were
Oh, Rob Reiner's a nut.
yeah,
But he wasn't in it was very good. This was the his stuff in the basement, his extended conversation.
yeah,
Oh, he talked to Rob on the podcast thingy with the
Yes.
yeah,
And
Oh,
it
I
was-
want to see that then.
it was
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, because he's out
really,
promoting,
Really good.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Spinal Cap. Yeah.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
otherwise on his show, it can get a little crossfiery. And I do like his show, but I don't in some respects too.
And,
but
and Rob did try to go down his usual Rob route,
Yeah,
and he got stopped.
oh, this
It
I
was-
got to see.
It was good. It was
This
it's
I
a
do gotta
really,
see.
really good discussion.
Well, that's
'Cause
what
that-
I mean, though. I mean, I think Bill Maher is shockingly become one of the most reasonable, high-profile leftists out there. That's just not trying to win for political points. I think that show's called Club Random. I
Yeah,
think.
Club
Yes,
Random.
that's what it is. Thank you.
As,
Well,
as long as he lets the guest talk, because the last
yeah.
half a dozen episodes,
Yeah.
he was driving me nuts. That maybe he was a bit too.
He does get a little
medicated,
too high and
he
like
just
sucking
needed
some
to
people's
shut up
dicks.
and stop talking over people.
Yeah.
Like a certain person here on this show.
Yes,
Me.
like I just did. No, I just did it. No, but Paul's right. There's some episodes where it's tough to listen to him because he gets too high and he just sits there and starts sucking their dick for
Yeah.
like fucking a half
Or he
hour.
gets
and you're just
angry.
like- or
Sometimes
he
I
gets
think
angry on
Or,
something. Yeah.
or it's his position.
right. Yeah. So he maybe has to find a different one.
But the thing with Rob was a really good, entertaining back and forth.
Yeah, agreed. And because
Yeah.
I always like it. I like Bill Maher best when I agree with Bill Maher. So
Yeah,
I think that's pretty much anybody. But
fair
I know,
weather
Chris, I
friends.
think you got to be leaving.
I
I know we
do,
have
I
one
do.
more
I've
story
got-
and some super chats to get through. But yeah, so
yeah,
go
keep
ahead and
rocking
leave.
on. I think there's some more Ruby Hoove music suggestions out there,
Yeah.
which I agree with always. Have a good weekend. Are we still? Is it still 10 a.m. Eastern Monday?
That is the plan. Andre hasn't ducked out yet, so
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, I'll
9
I
a.m.
look forward to
Central
it.
and 10 Eastern. Yep.
Hopefully,
us
we'll go
warning.
along and Scribe can still join us at the tippy end or something on those.
That's the plan and hope.
Probably not, but we'll see. Time will
We'll
tell.
see. Hey guys, have
Yeah.
a good weekend.
Yeah.
Good to see everybody.
Take care.
Take care. All right, let's grab this real quick. This Witcher story, and then we'll get on to the rest of the super chats here. We got this business with Henry Cavill being talked about from the Witcher creators. Now what's going on, Scribe? Something like that?
Yeah, so the showrunner of The Witcher,
They're not creator. There's runner. Yeah, sorry.
the showrunner, yeah, in Entertainment Weekly, she made this comment. Lauren Hisrich, if I'm saying that correctly, she broke her silence on Henry Cavill's departure. Now, our understanding to this point is that Henry Cavill left because, well, the canon was being sidelined. The people running the show did not care about The Witcher or the lore or the accuracy. They wanted to make it a girl boss show and kept fighting with Cavill. Cavill kept fighting with them to maintain the.
He was difficult.
Yeah, he was difficult. If not the point by point accuracy of the character and everything, at least the spirit of it. And it just wasn't worth his time at a certain point. So yeah, he was toxic. He was a toxic fan of the property against the showrunner. Well, the showrunner says, quote, he had plans for other roles that he really wanted to commit himself to. And for us, you don't want to hold someone and force them to be doing something that they don't want to do. I think that's why it felt like a really symbiotic decision, unquote.
Oh my God.
I know, that is that is matrix dodging of your own complicity in him leaving. If you had satisfied the character, if you'd done right by the books and everything, Henry Cavill, a super duper fan coming into it, and this just I think this exemplifies part of the reason why Marvel doesn't want anyone involved with their shows and movies to be fans of the material, because you're going to run up against this we know better Marxist takeover idea of these properties to push our agenda. We're not here for the fans, we're here for ourselves. And this is just one of the more dramatic examples of how, the immovable object meets the unstoppable force. But Henry Cavill has got other options to spend his time.
Well,
Yeah, he had to go get hurt making Highlander.
what's so stupid about that? Because I've been involved in these negotiations where I've got a sitcom, you cast it, and obviously you hope that it gets picked up and goes for another 5 years. To do that, you've got to structure the contract in such a way that the actors need to stick around if it gets picked up.
Mm-hmm.
So she's full of shit. The contract that they would have negotiated with Cavill really would, Cavill would have had a multi-million-dollar contract because he's Cavill. He would have been tied up for as long as the series was going,
Mm-hmm.
to the best ability of the producers of the show. There's just no way that they would want you to leave partway through. So either there was a clause in the contract that allowed him to bail if things weren't going the way he wanted it to go, which, considering his stature, he easily would have been able to insert.
As far as I understand it, he was contracted for 3 seasons to possibly do more, depending. So
Sure.
as soon as he could leave, he left, and that's when they needed to recast
Right,
and
right.
retool
So-
and everything else. Yeah.
Yeah, so he would have had a minimum of 3.
Yep.
With an option to go on. So he exercised his option to bail, which
Right.
no producer wants that to happen.
Yeah, but the stories about his conflicts with the showrunners and they're trying to insert humor into play. Like the one really significant example I remember is there's a scene in which the Witcher's, I believe his horse gets killed. And
He was against that.
Well, no. This is the horse dying. I believe is part of the canon in some fashion. They were working that in, but the showrunners wanted to introduce this Marvel disarming humor in the scene that would have completely stolen the moment from it. And he's like, "No, you can't do that." Like he was adamant, you cannot do that in this instance, and they relented. But it was one of those situations where, he's running. The fan is running up against the mentality of we know best.
Make fun of Roach dying,
right?
You can't. And I think I mentioned this in our pre-show dump that you could tell just how competent, how arrogant Hisrich and company were in that they created Blood Origin.
Yes.
They promoted as the real Witcher, the Witcher that they would want to have. It's part of the Witcher extended universe that they made up that has nothing to do with Wachowski or the original. I can't remember the pronunciation. His name. Some Polish dude.
Yes,
and it was dreadful. It was so bad that Netflix told them to cut down the 8 episodes down to 6 and then just dump it.
Yeah,
so
this
was the example of the way they wanted The Witcher to kind of work if they could have just gotten rid of that pesky Cavill guy.
Yeah, if they could have worked outside of the canon that they had to work with because it's The Witcher. Yeah, that was their version.
The eye candy wasn't doing what it was supposed to. That was the problem.
Oh yeah, the Cavill. Yeah, I mean the Witcher could have been. I mean, can you imagine? You look at I forget the guy's name. The guy that wanted to do Conan over at Amazon, he got zapped, so he goes over to HBO or whatever and does House of the Dragon. Like somebody who actually appreciates this stuff and knows what they're doing, and they're given a chance to actually indulge in their passion, something they actually care about, and you see the results. Can you imagine handing The Witcher over to somebody who actually appreciated the books, appreciated the games? Every time I see one of these things, and here's the thing: I was never, not because I hated it or something. I never got into The Witcher. High fantasy as a genre is always something I have a hard time getting into. But but I appreciated the fandoms. I appreciate the fandoms of things that even I'm not interested in because I have my own. And when they get done dirty, and you know that once they've done it dirty once, they're never going to go back and try to redo it again better. I feel that sort of like sense of, stomach dropping tragedy of like, because if this is what they're going to do with something you love, it really is a big spike to the heart. And so
I only knew The Witcher through the games, which I loved.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought they were.
Cavill knew that was Cavill's situation too. He loved the games, and then he found out there were novels. He's like, "What? I didn't know they were based on books." And then he just completely devoured the novels, and that's great. And then he got a chance to do this. Can you imagine getting cast as the lead in one of your favorite fantasy series? Imagine how awesome that would be to be able to actually represent a character you have an appreciation and a passion for, and then you have everybody and their brother around you telling you, "Nah, we got to do it this way." It must have been torture.
I can't think of the arrogance of a group of people who have a property like this and have a star like Henry and just drag their feet. Go, oh God, you know what? He wants to be in every scene. Oh no, he wants to make it Xena, warrior hunter, but he wants to star in it. But oh God, why do we have to follow the way it's written?
One of the problems was the author of the novels in licensing this stuff, as far as I understand it, was very lackadaisical in his creative control and having a hand in it or setting
in the game, not necessarily the TV show.
No, in selling the rights to Netflix too, I think the story is that he was kind of didn't really pay that much attention to it, and so he let a lot of control handed over to Netflix to do with it as he will. Okay. I mean, fair to him, if he doesn't care, if he's ultimately like, no, my books are my books, and you can do whatever you want, fair enough. But I think that's probably what also lent to a lot of people taking the reins.
And Netflix would want a contract like that. I mean,
of course,
doing anybody a favor. They want to take as much control as they possibly.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah. And if he wasn't making demands on certain requirements or oversight of it, they're not going to complain.
But I don't understand why people want to piss on a property. I don't get it.
The Blood Origin thing is the perfect example, right? You have somebody who wants to do a thing, but they don't have any creativity of their own. So they have to riff off of something that exists, but not just riff off of it. They try to inject it with their own sense of what it should be. And then you see Blood Origin is Witcher fan fiction unbidden by an untalented group of people who think they know better.
Yeah.
And there you go. That's sort of like what was I thinking of? Oh, it's like in the Fly when he wants to cleanse himself of all of the Fly DNA by taking Gina Davis, and he's going to like merge them into this pure being. He's going to take away all the stuff and make a pure product out of it. And of course, it turns into a monster because he doesn't know what he's doing. Anyway.
And Ryan Condell was who you were thinking
of. Ryan Condell. Yeah, I couldn't remember the guy's name.
Ryan Condell, yeah. I was trying to just wait for you guys to finish up the discussion because I have zero to really add to the whole like Witcher thing. The only thing I can add is the same thing we've said a million times before, and Henry Cavill in The Witcher is kind of an example of why.
What a waste!
It's also why like people at Lucasfilm and Star Trek and stuff like that don't want fans working on these shows and movies, because then that means they got to deal with people who care about continuity and character and all that kind of shit. So that's part of the problem they don't want to deal with, because they want to be able to just do whatever their agenda is, more because it's more about the agenda than it is the actual show itself. So yeah. Anyhow, Action Com sends in a $10 super chat to say, to join the Ruby Hoove Cool Song Name Club, I've been thinking about changing my name to Wam Bam Baloo Bam 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 Bam. Or should I stick to Good Night Irene? Well, whatever works for you.
I'd stick to WAP.
Yes. WAP. Jason Webster says, Nicolas Cage, like Alien Earth is a prequel to the original, but the sequel is to the sequel to the sequel of Prometheus, while the original had 3 sequels. Okay, I have a headache. Where's the Tylenol, Ridley? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I haven't watched the last few episodes. What was that?
I'm not
don't
pregnant.
They? Oh, there are horror stories coming out in the last couple
Lord.
of years
Oh, yeah.
about that. Anyway.
Let's.
not even get into that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there.
I brought that up to my chiropractor yesterday, and he laughed about it. I said, "Don't worry, I won't," because I asked him about my neck issue I'm having, and I said, well, "What do you suggest I take? Like ibuprofen, Tylenol, what?" He goes, "Yeah, Tylenol." I said, "Don't worry, I won't do a TikTok."
No, it's not a. You want a naproxen if you've got muscle bone ache.
That's what he said. I don't know.
Your
But anyway,
doctor.
Hollywood Burns says zombies should have been better stuck with phase 4 through 5 characters. Blade was good, and Fantastic Four was absolutely boring and horribly miscast. Okay, so yeah, I haven't seen the zombies. I've never watched any of these, but I did hear that Blade makes his first and probably only appearance in the MCU as Mirage Ali plays him. So yeah.
Yeah, Marvel Zombies, the animated series. Oh boy. Just like with What If and everything else.
You don't know what you're missing, oh boy.
Yeah, I don't care. I've been so between Star Wars and Marvel at this point, I've been so burned. Every time they put out something new, it's just bumping up against scar tissue.
Isn't
And I just
Marvel as a whole just a zombie now? But yeah, so I've heard Blade is in it. It's interesting, but yeah. Did you watch it at all? No.
No, I'm not paying for
so.
Disney Plus, and not because of
Yeah.
Kimmel, but just because I don't.
And the
care
prices
anymore.
are going up. I saw again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Marks
they're raising the
Marksman
price.
117B says, "Sorry for tangent, Tom. Did get message about Starship." Okay, so
Jefferson Starship.
no, there was a message when I wasn't here the other day. I guess it was there was a message that was missed. I guess from Marksman, and Andre did not send it to me, so I have no idea what it was. But I guess it had to do with Starship Troopers and something about Critical Drinker, I guess. And they were talking about it being. Well, let me see if I can bring it up here. He said he sent me a message about it. I'm sorry about that. And I'm really out of it right now, so.
I heard they were remaking that or something at some point,
Oh,
trying to be
yeah.
more accurate to the novel, which is
That's what I heard.
yeah. I haven't heard anything about it recently.
There we go. Okay, sent in a super chat Wednesday. I was asking about Starship Troopers script. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was on Midnight's Edge where I heard the story of the script writer for Starship Troopers had an assistant help him write it, and that assistant was a fan, which is why the movie was adapted very faithfully to the book.
The movie is not.
Yeah, I was.
I mean, in certain elements and names and things, but the book is way different. They don't even mention. They don't even mention the skinnies in the movie, and it's a much more Vietnam kind of situation.
Yeah, just to finish up what he said here, he goes, "I disagreed with Critical Drinker's take on Starship Troopers being a satire, and Mahler backed me up, so we're in debate about it, and it could be some very important context that reframes things for Drinker."
No, it's a satire.
I've always thought of it as a satire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
And
Like RoboCop.
it's because, yeah, Verhoeven even said something like, because I don't even think he ever read the book, or if he did, it wasn't until like after the movie or something like that, or after he made it, because yeah, his movie and his world is like it's an extension of like RoboCop.
Yeah.
And he kind of did a completely different 180 take on what the novel is.
Yeah.
And I think he was commenting on the Bush administration or some shit like that. I think it was at the time. Because I'm going to say that this political thing in Hollywood is not new, but back then they would just kind of say these things and you say, yeah, okay, I can kind of see it.
Yeah, Heinlein's novel has a completely different tone and message to it and everything, and there's a lot of elements. Like I say, there's names of characters and certain situations and stuff have been pulled from the book to be put into that movie, but the two are exceedingly different from one another. So if you haven't read Starship Troopers, give it a shot.
Yeah, because I mean the satire in there is really kind of illustrated well in that scene where Doogie Howser comes up and he goes, "It's afraid," and everybody starts cheering. It's like, as the audience, you're supposed to feel bad for the bugs, right? Like that's kind of where the satire comes in. It's kind of like the RoboCop scene where the guy gets plowed down by Ed 209 in the opening shot, right? And everybody's like, treating it like it's just another bug in the system. You know what I mean?
Well,
like everybody's acting all nonchalant about it.
Two things immediately told you it was a satire. Number one, he hired models as the leads.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
they were supposed to be the Aryan race and absolutely perfect and gorgeous. Okay? So that was the first clue. And even back then, I heard people complaining about the fact that why did he hire all these good-looking actors? Like, no, that's the point. You absolutely missed the point. The second one is there's this ad to join the forces, whatever they were called,
Federation.
which was almost frame by frame from a Lena Riefenstahl ad to join the youth corps for the Nazis.
Yep.
So if you saw that original Leni Riefenstahl film, you'd go, Verhoeven's just grabbing it frame for frame. And not a lot of Americans, I don't think, are familiar with Leni Riefenstahl. I am. And that immediately, when I saw that, oh yes, it's almost like an SNL parody.
Yeah, well, the first time I saw the movie in the theater, I saw those, and I was much younger, obviously, much younger. But I recognized those things that, even though I didn't have the Riefenstahl reference, I was like, okay, that is straight out of the sort of fascist propaganda newsreel stuff I watched on the History Channel or whatever. Yeah, it was just like that. And so I understood what he was doing there, and it was really funny because it was satire, and everybody was being goofy about it. But I'd already read Heinlein at that point, so I could see the
I read it afterwards.
Okay. I think I read it in junior high or something.
And there was the nude shower scene.
Yes, the co-ed shower scene, very progressive. Very progressive.
Yeah, that was a mainstay or something that Verhoeven liked to put in there a lot. Just co-ed showers. And then we got, let's see here, where we leave off here.
Are we done?
Almost, we're getting there. Breaking news, John Cena still apologizing in Mandarin and English for Peacemaker Season 2, says Jason Webster. Yeah, thank you. Marksman117B does say also, though, that new Nintendo COO is from Sony and ran their DEI.
Right.
Oh, good.
Is that what we were talking about earlier? Or?
Yeah, great.
Oh,
super.
Good.
Then ActionCom says, do you think Go OGL or Google blamed someone else from banning is legit, or they full of that picture behind shadow?
Oh, bull. In my previous picture.
So Google is blaming somebody else. Is that what you're saying?
Well, so YouTube confessed that the Biden administration had contacted them directly and effectively told them that, if you don't do this, that, or the other, there will be sanctions or, something will come down the pike. And so I don't think Google, ultimately they made the decision because they didn't have to if they wanted to maintain what their community guidelines were and not zap people for not violating them, but they would also face all these consequences they were being threatened with. So ultimately it was their decision, but the government put enough pressure on them that they can reasonably say that they weren't acting without being coerced. I think.
All right. Sounds good to me. I think that's enough to cover that. Thinking Heretic sends in 5 and says, I thought the pillow guy worked at Disney, or was that Walt? We were talking about the My Pillow guy, unless you're making a joke here that I'm missing. Pillow guy that worked at Disney.
I don't know what the pillow guy's career was before pillows.
Yeah, I don't know. Hollywood Burns, or maybe he did work for Disney. I don't know. Hollywood Burns says, what was the Netflix thing? Or is it because he looks like Walt Disney? That could be too. Hollywood Burns, sorry, says, what was the Netflix thing sliding with the flop queens versus the fans, who is actually liked by the audience? They literally derailed the franchise.
Well, because the regime at Netflix is and has been all in on the DEI way of thinking and social justice and girl bossing. They've been putting out. They've deleted them from their channel now. I captured a couple back in the day of them having little discussions about let's talk about our internal program called Strong Black Lead, where we're going to give preference to projects and creators on the basis of their race. Oh yeah, that's great, guys, and they're all patting each other on the back.
But they backed off from that. Somewhat.
They don't advertise as much anymore. It's still technically in existence, but
But the shows aren't reflecting that as much.
no. But I think when Witcher was first contracted or whatever, they were still in that. That was still in the heart of the hashtag Me Too
yeah.
and stuff phase. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that they promised, Hitchrith promised to elevate Siri and,
Yes.
what's her name? Which I love. I mean, I do like those two characters.
Sure.
They're hot in the game.
Yeah.
Not so
But
hot.
the game's called The Witcher, not the series. So.
Correct.
I know Siri becomes a Witcher. I get it. I know. But it's all
I know.
the same.
She's very powerful.
Yes.
And then we've
Super
got
powerful.
And then we got Hyperguy says, Scribe, you're explaining exactly why I'll see the Deathstalker on October 10th. Slash is a massive fan and even wrote a comic book tie-in last year. Yeah, I heard new Deathstalkers coming out.
Yeah, and it's as far as I understand, it's by people that love the franchise for what it was and are just trying to add on to it. Heaven forfend. Actually do something the fans will appreciate long into the future. Good.
Right. And then we got Marksman again, who says, Witcher author infamous for bad business deals. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. His deal with CD Projekt Red for the game was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But
Well,
he got money.
and we are
Oh, yeah.
caught up, guys. That's it.
Okay.
That's Friday. So hopefully we'll see you all on Monday morning. And till then, Paul, anything coming up?
I don't know. I got stuff, but we'll see. I'm going to be lazy over the weekend.
Yay, lazy.
Nothing wrong with that. Scribe, you got anything going on?
Yeah, well, because of the time change, for all intents and purposes, this will probably be my last appearance on Midnight's Edge in the Morning in a meaningful way for quite a while, if not perpetually. We'll see. So it's been nice to be on here if it does end up being effectively my last regular appearance. Wow. And nice meeting all you guys and hanging out with all people from places I never would have imagined. I got to talk to Paul Chatto and Chuck Dixon
and stuff, though, right?
When I'm able, sure. Cool. Other than that, yeah, so a couple of things real quick. Last night, TED Excellence was the most non-offensive TEDx I've watched in a long time. It was a lady talking about her life and experiences. It was a little weird, but there was nothing mind-melting about it. And so I'll take that as a kind of win, I suppose. And I also wanted to quick plug for another friend of mine. On Tuesday, I have been invited to appear on the 100,000 subscriber celebratory live stream for my friend Mr. Black, who runs the One Crime TV YouTube channel. He is a true crime content creator. His stuff is just as a one-man shop, effectively, I would argue is a television broadcast worthy. The production quality and his research and his editing style and everything else is top of the pops. And so I've been invited. I'm slightly bewildered because I'm like, well, yeah, we're friends, but you're going to have on a whole bunch of true crime like experts and things, and but so a little bit of imposter syndrome. But either way, that's going to happen at 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time this next Tuesday. And so if you want to check out a really good channel with some true crime stuff on there, and me, at least for the sake of the event, check out One Crime TV. He's told me some stuff in the background. He has so many amazing projects in the works right now that if you have any interest in true crime, it would be worth your while to check it out.
That's my wife.
Okay, well then, hey, Mrs. Chatto, there's a show coming up you should check out.
Ooh, with Mr. Black.
Yes, Mr. Black.
Mm-hmm.
He's in he's an Alabaman who moved to Latvia.
I am an alien.
Wow.
Well, we got a super chat on the other day for you after I didn't get to before you left. I think it was Hyperguyver 2 on No Scribe. You mentioned that you're relatively new to Conan. Have you looked into reading Robert E. Howard's original works, with his new series you're doing?
Well, I mean, I own the Solomon Kane collection. I have all the Conan original stories in about 3 different collections, and also on my Kindle. So I have read a lot more Robert E. Howard in the time since I first got turned on to him. I mean, I read a little bit way back in the day when I first got into Lovecraft because he and Robert E. Howard were pen pals effectively and worked together and shared story elements and things. But yes, so I have read more than just Conan in the last several years. But and I've got the Conan tabletop role-playing game from Modifius, and I've got the new Monolith version that's being published on order to fill out things. 'Cause, man, those guys do amazing work with just making those books effectively like a reference library for the Conan world and things. So, yes, the short version is yes. For a long answer for a short question.
There you go. Well, thank you for that, Scribe, and hopefully we do get to see you more than not, because we'll miss you. But yeah, so Monday morning, keep it in mind, guys. Hopefully everything works out that way. Otherwise, stay tuned to X and the community posts on YouTube for any changes in that, because Lord knows, I'm sure Andre will try. Take care of yourselves and each other, and as Andre says, Scribe, why don't you take us out this time? What does he usually say?
Oh, it is time for Koalas in the Rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given, koalas in the rain.